Hello, my name is Zachary Williamson, and welcome back to Beat the Rake DFS. We have a 5-game EPL slate that we're going to break down for you here. But first, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. It helps us grow, and we are a growing channel that we're trying to build and make better content for you guys. So that always helps us. I will say, we also have a Discord that you can get into. It's we have a free general Discord. You can get in there, ask us our questions, our NHL content, some NASCAR stuff in there is free. And then obviously we have a Patreon where you can pay to be in the Discord with NBA, EPL, MMA. And with NBA, you get my personal projections. EPL, you get my personal projections, and much, much more. So make sure you go check out the Patreon. Very inexpensive for what it is. We try to be one of the more affordable DFS coverage sites. Yeah. And then, we'll get right into this. I just want to say we did have a good day today. So like I said yesterday, there was a slate swap where the Sunday slate is the main and the Saturday slate is not. So we had a 2-game slate today with Brentford winning at home to Burnley. I don't know why I blanked on that. And we got there. I played a lot of Ashley Westwood. Worked out quite well. Played a lot of Christian Eriksen. Worked out quite well. Didn't get to a lot of Tony, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. And then, we had that late game with Man U Tottenham 3-2. What a game. As a Man United fan, all I can say is, see. So get the Ronaldo hat trick, and Bruno was out. So if you were in the Discord and I changed the projections up, and when Bruno was removed, I just boosted Man U across the board a little bit because I had so much Bruno. I had to find ways to late swap, and I ended up late swapping onto a bunch of Ronaldo. Worked out quite well. If I would have had Tony, I might have had a takedown, but it is what it is. We keep going into this slate, and we've got an interesting 5-game slate here. The first game is Chelsea home to Newcastle. This is potentially how they'll line up. We did see this kind of similar lineup against Norwich. The only difference was Werner over Ziyech. Mason Mount took everything in that game. If you see Ziyech and Mount, I expect them to be splitting sets. Both are okay. If you see just Hakim Ziyech, it'll be just Ziyech on sets. And if you see Mount, just Mount, it'll be Mount on sets. So we'll see. You never know. This could turn into Mount here, Christian Pulisic here. Maybe you put Werner and Ziyech in there, or Pulisic and Ziyech. So we'll see if there's any kind of rotation for Chelsea. I believe they play in the Champions League on Wednesday, but they're up 2-0. So I don't know if they get a ton of rotation in there. So we'll monitor. I do expect Sal Niguez to start out wide. He has been doing that already. I believe they're still dealing with injuries to Reece James, which is why you see Azpilicueta. So he missed Thursday. I kind of expect him to miss tomorrow as well. Alonso's been dealing with COVID. So maybe he comes back, but he wasn't even included in the matchday squad on Thursday. It's possible that we see him. Maybe we don't. Niguez is sitting at 5.2, probably a little bit too expensive. I prefer to play him down near the bottom. Doesn't have a super high floor. So Pulisic is questionable. He did miss, but he had been rolling lately. So if he's able to play, I do kind of expect him to slide back into the lineup. So it'll all depend on that. Like I said, if you see this lineup, Mason Mount and Ziyech will be splitting sets. Azpilicueta's okay, but we do have some decent wingbacks on this team. So, or on this slate. So on Newcastle, this is probably what we see. You might see Bruno Gomes. Bruno Gomes, I don't know, actually, I think it's Gomes, but he did quite well for us. Another guy that I played a lot of on Thursday, and he had a goal. I don't like him as much at 4-8 against Chelsea, but it was a good shutout against Southampton looked very good in his Premier League starting debut. But yeah, and then we have Matty Target taking all the sets, which was tilting because I played a bunch of Ryan Fraser. This is the lineup and they do see this kind of rotation, you will see Matty Target on everything. Maybe John Joe Shelby takes 1 or 2. Ryan Fraser, if he's in, will take a share. But yeah, I'm not targeting a ton of Newcastle against Chelsea. I think we understand why. The next game is Everton at Wolves. And I'm not going to lie. Everton got annihilated against Tottenham, but I think that game was kind of different than how people actually see it if they watched it. And just to say, Everton at home has been way better than Everton away. They've been one of the better home teams in the EPL versus their away form. It's been absolutely atrocious. They're fighting to avoid relegation. Everton of all teams. It's crazy. Obviously, we'll have to see what the lineup looks like. Demarai Gray has been out. He could be an option against Wolves, but he's training. I don't know if he'll play. I honestly prefer if he doesn't. But if you don't see Demarai Gray if you see Demarai Gray, if you see this lineup, it'll be Demarai Gray on sets. If you see Anthony Gordon in over Demarai Gray, he'll take sets. So it'll be interesting to say basically what happens with this Everton lineup, because like I'm probably going to plan for Demarai Gray at 8.5, but I don't know if I want to play him too much. At 7.8, I get to Anthony Gordon because he got so much more open play value. Yeah, Wolves, that's kind of it. Like Donny van de Beek is probably pretty cheap, but the issue with Donny van de Beek, I love him as a player. He's very aggressive in his tackling. So you can see here, he had 3 fouls conceded. And so he does unfortunately have a fouls conceded, like at least 1 to 2 or 3, which hurts when you're not doing much. But it'll be interesting. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if we see Decore and Van de Beek. This was like kind of the first match that they'd really tried that. And obviously Decore is important to Everton and Donny van de Beek is important to Everton. But the issue was Allen was just unable to hold the whole midfield. And I think it was on Decore. A lot of people watch it. So just like a tactical breakdown real quick, because like I know people love those, is as a holding midfielder, you're supposed to like sit in here, and that's what Allen does, right? Like you sit in here and you play this like wide kind of thing, right? Unfortunately, what kind of happened, and then it's a rotation, right? So with the ball on this side, right, Van de Beek has the license to go more forward. You'll see him make runs into the box, right? Now Decore, same thing. It's a rotation, right? So when the ball is on Van de Beek's side, you should see Van de Beek come up here, and Decore will come into this midfield and help Allen hold this down, right? And maybe you see like a run, but usually the wing backs bomb on, and like this is kind of how that works when the ball is over here, right? And it's completely reversed on the other side, right? So on the other side is literally just the exact opposite, where you have Decore supposed to bomb on, Van de Beek come hold, and Allen shift over here, Van de Beek shifts over here, wingbacks bomb on, right? So that's pretty usually how it happens. What happened with the game against Tottenham is you have such a quick counterattack, and Decore was making runs off the ball. And what that allowed Tottenham to do was just Allen was left alone by himself against Kulusevski, Kane, Son. And so Kane would win the ball here, lay it off to Kulusevski, or like Son, or maybe one of the wing backs. And it was just allowing like a very clear exit strategy for Tottenham. So it'll be interesting to see what happens because Wolves play very similar, right? And if Everton plays the same way they did, even though they're at home, if they play the same way against Tottenham, they can get cut apart because they have Raul Jimenez, who will come and receive the ball deep as like a hold-up midfielder, and you'll have Hee-Chan, Daniel Podence. This could be Pedro Neto or Pedro Neto there. I think Pedro Neto should start one of these games. He missed the midweek. So I kind of expect that. But what that allows is these two guys, you get the hold up forward to come in. You have these two guys come in, and they're like basically just on a 2-on-2 with the defender, and then you have one of the wing backs making it like an automatic advantage. So it'll be interesting to see how Everton lines up, and see if we get to Corey Van de Beek, because that midfield combination just didn't work flat out, unfortunately. So anyway, so Everton, just quickly, I probably would just get to Anthony Gordon the set piece, and if you want to mix in like a Calvert-Lewin or a Richarlison, okay, but like there's better forwards, I think. I think they're also kind of expensive for what they are. Like, I guess Calvert-Lewin at 5'9" is okay. He needs a goal. He doesn't have a lot of floor. Yeah, and then so Wolves, Hee-Chan's been really good. So like I understand if they like stay with Hee-Chan. If you see Hee-Chan at 5,000, got an assist, got us there on Thursday. Jimenez, I think, no, it was Podence and Jimenez who scored. Jimenez scored an assist on from Hee-Chan. And but I'll be interested in seeing, I kind of think we see Pedro Neto. It'll be interesting if we see Hee-Chan subs, Hee-Chan sub, or if we see Daniel Podence sub. But I just fully expect to see Pedro Neto. If you see Pedro Neto at 7-7, like he just didn't, like he came on for 29 minutes. He needs to get the start. He's the star player in Wolves, and he has a set piece share. Takes sometimes over Matinho, whereas Matinho usually has monopoly. Sometimes we'll have Nori taking, but if this is the lineup, it'll be probably like a mix between Nori and Matinho, and I think you can get to Nori at 5'8". But when Pedro Neto's in, like Nori is not as, like, he doesn't have the floor. He still has the ceiling, but he doesn't have the floor that you're looking for. Doesn't have the set piece taker. So goalies in this game, Pickford 5-2. I'm probably okay. I like to play Pickford when he's cheap. Jose Sa at 4-5 is too cheap. I know he's priced as an away keeper, but he leads the league in saves. He has win equity. This guy normally sits in the 5,000s. Wolves don't concede a lot. So, and Everton's hasn't been clinical. So at 4-5, Jose Sa might be my favorite keeper on the slate. Next game we'll just slide into is Leeds at Norwich. Unfortunately, I got burned by the there'd be an interesting rotation. I played a lot of Jack Harrison and it didn't work out. He had sets. And I apologize for that. I was pretty hype on him, but it happens. He had sets, and then he only ended up taking like 2 sets and then did nothing in open play. And normally he has some open play value. Like you can see, like without sets, he's like a 7.5, 5-7, 6 guy. And so I thought sets. I read the game a little wrong. I didn't think Villa, whose away form hasn't been very good. I didn't expect them to take it to them as much. But they did. And so we'll see what happens. If this is the lineup, it'll be a Rafinha and Dallas split. If we see Harrison Dallas, it'll be a Harrison Dallas split, with that Harrison taking more and Rafinha taking more. Dallas takes some. And yeah, Patrick Bamford is back. He I don't know if he's ready to start. And at 8-3, I just don't think I'm there, because I don't think he goes a full 90. He needs a goal. I understand that like Norwich hasn't been great, but I just don't know if I get there. Yeah, so look for the starting lineup. I think you can play some Dan James. I think you can play some Rodrigo, some Rafinha on the lead side. Gelhardt at 4-6, if you see him in there. He has the ability to, especially against the Norwich team, draw some fouls, get some shots. Good young player, kind of the future of Leeds, or what they're expecting to be the future of Leeds, if you will. If you see Jack Harrison, I'm going right back to the well, especially if you see Rafinha and Jack Harrison in the same lineup, because of the fact that I think that people are still going to force in Rafinha thinking he has a set monopoly. He did take almost everything after Harrison left, though. So, yeah, that's the same thing. So just keep in mind that. Look for the lineups. I don't expect this to be the lineup as well. I expect Billy Gilmore to slide back in. He didn't play because of he was a Chelsea loanee. It was against Chelsea. Mila Rashica didn't start. He got rotated and then subbed in at half. I think maybe you see Rupp or Kenny McLean come out. If you see Billy Gilmore, he will take almost everything, if not everything, and at 5-3 against Leeds, who allow a lot of set pieces. I think that makes a ton of sense, even away from home. If you don't see Billy Gilmore and you do see this lineup, it will be Mila Rashica, which I'll have a decent amount of. I don't know how cheap Pookie is, but I don't know if I get there. At 5-6, no. I played Pookie around 4,000. I know he has been in okay goal scoring form, but there's better forwards on the slate than a goal dependent team of Pookie. So, but if you want to get there in GPP, you can. Yeah, Kenny McLean looks okay. He took a couple sets before Rashica. He was on sets before Rashica came on. Did okay. Brandon Williams is a Man U kid. I like him a lot from a defensive perspective. But his getting forward has something to desire. He does have a floor of around 5 to 6 points against most teams. Not named Man City and Liverpool. Crystal Palace, he had a yellow card, so you take that away. But he gets a lot of defensive stats. He's a really good young defender. So at his price tag, I think you can punt with him at 3,500 if you need to. I don't know if I'm going to play Team Cruel. It's tough to punt on the slate when you have Jose Sa at 4-5. But Leeds also takes I expect Leeds to score in this game. So yeah, that's kind of this game. On to the next game. We have a game against Watford, Southampton. Watford home. Where's Ward-Prowse? So Ward-Prowse sets monopoly, always is for Southampton. But we'll get to Southampton. We got to deal with. Oh, it is Southampton home. That's okay. Oh, DK has it differently. So okay. I always expect the home team to be on top with DK, but it's just not how it is. But anyway, so Southampton's at home against Watford. I think Ward-Prowse 14 crosses, 9 crosses, 15 crosses. He's probably your cash midfielder. I don't know if I fade them, especially with him being slightly cheaper than Mason Mount, who might see Hakeem Ziyech with him, right? So, he's going to have a sets monopoly. Yeah. And against Watford, I think you can look to get to a Shea Adams, Amanda Broja at 6-1. He's due for a goal. He's missed 3 or 4 sitters. And I know it's tough to keep banking on a player when they're missing sitters, but he's missing sitters. So I expect him to score eventually. I do like him at 6-1. Watford has been not good, and I feel really bad for Roy Hodgson because all he does is lose. And he's a good manager. He just has these teams that are not good, if you will. Stuart Armstrong, I talk crap about him. They switched him from midfield forward, and then he, as a midfielder, went in and scored a goal. I still don't know at 6'5" as a midfielder if I get there. Last man in as a flex play, you could argue. Just sat me down though. Kyle Walker-Peters always has a floor for crossing. If he's on the right side, he crosses a little bit more. So I like it there. And should have some clean sheet equity against Watford. They don't score a lot of goals. Perot bombs forward and at 4-9. I just probably wouldn't play the wingbacks together. I have that rule, if you will. But yeah, if you see Musa Gineppo, he is cheap, I believe. He's where is he? Yeah, 3,000 for a favored team midfielder out wide. I would play a lot of Musa Gineppo if he's in. It could be Elyounoussi. Nate Tella, unfortunately, is out. I love Nate Tella, but yeah. So that's kind of how Southampton is. You can play a lot of Southampton guys. I'd probably play a lot of James Ward-Prowse, even in GPP. Probably play a decent amount of Kyle Walker-Peters, mixing some Gineppo and Perot, mixing some Shea Adams, and they have Adam Armstrong in. If it is Adam Armstrong over Broja, I like him at 5'3". He's like, I don't know if he's related to Stuart Armstrong. I think they are. They look very similar, and they're both like similar type of players where they're like small, shifty, like forwards. Let's see. I don't know if they're related. I feel like I always think players are related, and then they're not. Stuart Armstrong, are they brothers? Thanks, Google, for not helping me at all. There you go. I guess we're gonna have to go to the Wikipedia page. I don't know if I care about this, but I don't know. I always keep meaning to look it up. And yeah, I don't know. Okay, so he's from Scotland, and I think Armstrong is not Scottish. Yeah, so okay, so they're probably not related, but anyway, sorry for that tangent. I just thought it was interesting. Yeah, anyway. Moving on with Watford. I think we do see no Feminia. I think he is out with he was forced off. He had sets, so if you don't see him and you see this lineup, it'll probably be Luza. You can take some shots, if you will. Kamara is another one of those defenders who always seems to get there through defensive stats. If he has some offensive upside, you can play him, but it's not a thing. Josh King is really cheap for a team that's going to be playing on the break. Second, maybe like GPP last forward. But there isn't much from Watford. I really like Southampton. They've been really good at high pressing. They've been really good at the Hasselhoff. Yeah, Hassel to the ball. I was right the first time. Yeah, I think you can play for Fraser Forrester, 5'8". He's really expensive, but he's kind of your premium keeper on this outside of Mendy. Is he cheaper than Mendy? No, so he's cheaper than Mendy. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to play a lot of Jose Sa. Last game on the slate is West Ham and Villa. And I actually don't know how this game is going to go. And what'll probably happen is because the players are expensive, I probably won't play a lot of it, and then it'll go off. If you see this lineup, I think I get to Cresswell. So Bowen's out. Okay, sweet. I didn't know that. So if Bowen is out, it'll be most likely a Lazzini and Cresswell split, with mostly Cresswell having like most of everything. And at 5'4", he becomes your cash like defender. I think Aaron Cresswell, and in GPP, because when Aaron Cresswell has sets, you can see he's got like such a high floor. So like this isn't sets, but this is sets. Maybe has he been taking set? I haven't watched a lot of West Ham lately. They've been kind of off slate. They've been in the Europa League. Let's see. I believe the last time I played them was like 2 or 3 games ago, and it was Bowen who had everything. Did Bowen miss the last game? Because that'll be a good telltale. See, I'm working it out with you guys. I'm sorry, I didn't really look at this game because it's a dead leg. So he didn't miss, but Sevilla. Let's see what happened in Europa League. Or no, are they in the conference? No, in the Europa. It's Leicester that's in the conference. Let's see. So there was no Bowen, and it was a split between Cresswell and Fornells. Okay, so not Lanzini. Whatever. Yeah, I think that Cresswell at 5'4" becomes my cash defender, and my GPP defender. I'll play a lot of them at 5'4". Villa, I don't get to a lot of Villa. I'm not gonna lie. John McGinn, Douglas Luiz are their set piece takers. Don't have a high ceiling. You can play Philip Coutinho, but at 9.3, he's like, you're gonna have to make some concessions pricing wise, and I know he's been insane form, but until he starts taking like set pieces, like it's tough for me to like justify paying like for him, because he's been getting their own goals and assists, and you can call me crazy if you will, but like you take away his goal here, he's got 8. Take away his goal here, he's got 12. Right. So I get it. West Ham doesn't concede a lot either. So maybe it was bad for me to like not play him against Leeds and against I did play him against Southampton actually, but yeah. I think that like maybe it was bad for me to not play him against Leeds, just a mistake. Matty Cash, another player that I talk crap about, just went off and went crazy, had a goal and assist. He's been in really good form. Emi Martinez, former Arsenal keeper and Villa darling, called Matty Cash the poor man's Grealish. That's hilarious. So maybe Matty Cash is someone I have to reevaluate at 5.5. I probably get to some of them, I think, in this game. I know I do prefer West Ham in this game though. Like I think West Ham wins this game as good as Villa's been. Ramsey is okay at 4.4. Yeah. Do I play Emi Martinez with no Bowen? 4.6. Okay, so it's going to be between Sa and Martinez are probably going to be my goalies, I think, not lying. So, yeah, that's kind of the slate. What I'll do really quick too is I'll do some bonus. We have a Leicester and Arsenal showdown that I'll do my best to quickly break down as well. Give you guys a little bit of bonus coverage off the slate. And it's because I like this game. In this lineup, it'll probably be a split between Martinelli, Odegaard, and Saka. All three are viable against Leicester. Laka has been on fire lately. Had 2 assists against Watford. Didn't score against Wolves, but he should have. He like missed like 3 or 4 sitters. Had an awesome 4 game. An assist there, an assist there. So Laka's looked really good. Leicester has been wide open. No, what are you doing? SofaScore doesn't like me, I guess. Cedric. How cheap is Cedric? Cedric crosses when he gets forward, so I like him like as a guy who just like throws in crosses, right? Like he had 9 against Watford. It is 9.6. Is this captain? So 6.4. That is actually pretty decent. Tierney always bombs forward as well. Arsenal's been playing really well. I'm not a big Tierney guy though. Like I with Cedric on, so like if you see Tomiyasu, but I believe Tomiyasu is out. So with Tomiyasu, he's questionable. So if Tomiyasu plays, I like Tierney. If Tomiyasu doesn't play, I like Cedric because of the fact that Cedric bombs forward, which makes Tierney kind of sit a little deeper. It's kind of like Liverpool situation last year where they were like holding Robertson back a little bit to help with the defense, and TA was just bombing forward all the time. Yeah, so get to a lot of Arsenal in this showdown, obviously. Ramsdale you can play, probably get a lot of saves. Leicester, since Vardy's been back, have been better, but still like not the Leicester we're used to, if you will. Yeah, I expect Arsenal to win this game. In this lineup, it'll be James Maddison taking sets. I'd be surprised if we didn't see Vardy. Oh, he's out. Okay, so damn, that sucks for Leicester. They struggled without Vardy quite a bit. Harvey Barnes has been excellent the last couple games. Very good. Looking like the Harvey Barnes of last year, just driving in, looking for a shot, setting up his goals. Like he's looked really good. So I think you can justify playing some Harvey Barnes. It sucks that I like Dewsbury Hall, but without sets, he doesn't have the floor. If you see no James Maddison for whatever reason, it's like this lineup, but like all Brighton over here, it'll be all Brighton on sets. That's what's happened the last couple games. So you can see like sets here, sets here, sets here. So yeah, that's kind of the showdown game. Give you guys a little bit of bonus coverage. But other than that, guys, I'm going to jump out of here. Good luck tomorrow. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit me up in the comment section if you guys have any questions. And yeah, cheers.